today's video, let's create EC2 instance in AWS account. So to log into AWS account, aws.amazon.com is the address. aws.amazon.com is the address where you have to log into your account. So log into your account. So first let's log into the AWS account. So I have logged into my AWS account. Okay. So now go to services, and here you will find in this section you will find the compute. So in the compute category, so go to EC2. Okay. So once we get into EC2, so we'll be having this particular dashboard, EC2 dashboard. So like what are the EC2 servers are in running, what are the servers are in stopper state, like everything. So it may be IP addresses and auto scaling groups that you have created, and what the key pairs that you have created. So all these things will be listed here, which means how many you have been created and what are the its status, which means the servers may be in running state or stopper states, whatever it may be, it will be listing here. So this listing is based on the like a geographical location, means in this Mumbai region. So currently it is displaying this dashboard only for the Mumbai region. See here in Mumbai region, I have key pairs of 5. If I change my region to something different, so the key pairs are 5 and 8, security groups are 8, right? So if you move to the different region, so whatever the resources that you are using in that particular region only will be just listed here. Okay. So if you want to see all the like global dashboard, so here is a EC2 global view, so which will display all the resources across your AWS account in all the regions. So here it will display all the resources you have been created or you have been using across your AWS account. So totally 17 regions that are available under my account. Under 17 regions, 55 subnets are there. So these may 24 security groups, including the default security groups and your created security groups. And every region will be by default will be having one VPC. So 17 regions having 17 VPCs. Okay. So what is our task? In today's video, we'll be seeing how we can create EC2 instance in AWS account. So the EC2 instance is also the basic. So let's go to EC2 dashboard first. EC2. Here we will create a one EC2 instance with Windows operating system. So here, see here I have filtered as running instances. Just remove that filter and go to launch instances. So now the region remains the same region which I have selected, Virginia. So it is US East 1. Okay, let it be, no problem. So first step. So first step is we have to name your server. So I'll be naming my server as Windows Server for identification. So this will be also act as a tag name where you can identify your server using this particular tag name. And operating system, so I'm choosing Windows. So in the Windows, so here, so this is a operating system image, means generally we will say, right? So whenever you will be installing the operating system, we need OS. That OS is nothing but this part. So in AWS, we call that OS as Amazon Machine Image. You can see here. Okay. Amazon Machine Image is nothing but operating system. And this is 64-bit architecture operating system. Okay. So now let's go into the next step. So where the instance type we have to select. The instance type means the hardware capacity of the server which you are choosing. So since I'm using a free tier account, so I'm choosing here the operating system as a free tier eligible operating system, which is Microsoft Windows Server 2022 base operating system that I'm choosing. And also the instance type. So for a free tier, since I'm using a free tier account, I'll be choosing the free tier eligible hardware. So here hardware means the capacity of your server. So what is a RAM capacity? So here the RAM is available 1 GB of RAM. And how many the CPUs are there in your server? So here in this particular category, so we have only one CPU, one vCPU is there. And this is T2 family. So T2 means the small capacity servers. So T2.micro that I have created in T2.micro, so which is eligible for the free tier. So here I am creating free tier. And coming to next step, so the next step is we should use a key pair to access our server, which means, for example, so the key pair means it is combination of lock and key, right? So in that similar way, where lock will be kept inside our server, so inside our this server, and key will be given to us. So where we'll use that key to access our server. Similarly, how we'll be using lock and key concept the same way, where the lock will be kept in the door and key will be given to us. Okay. If you want to enter inside the house, you have to open the lock with your key, door lock. Okay. And coming to the next part, networking settings, by default, there will be a VPC in every region. So by default, the default VPC will be selected since there are no VPCs are available in this region apart from the default VPC. So no need to make any changes for your VPC. Just go to the firewall section. This is the in instance level or in the EC2 level. If you want to restrict the access for any like a port number wise or any like protocol wise, if you want to make some access restrictions, then you can enable these restrictions. So since this is a Windows server, so we'll be logging to the Windows server. We'll be using the protocol called RDP protocol. Only that RDP protocol is alone is like permitted. So for that, it will be creating a new security group with RDP protocol. So the RDP protocol is running in the port number 3389. Only that particular RDP protocol or that particular 3389 port number would be allowed to access this particular server. And the next step would be configure storage. So whereas by default, the 30 GB of storage will be provided as a free tier eligible in AWS account. Okay. So here to run your operating system in like to run your virtual machine with Windows operating system, so the minimum capacity is required 30 GB. So that is why it is by default 30 GB is selected. If you are instead of Windows, so instead of Windows, if you choose Linux platform or Linux operating system, so the 8 GB would be by default it would be selected here because the file size of Linux operating system would be very less comparatively with Windows. Okay, but up to 30 GB you are allowed to use the free like a free usage of 30 GB. Okay, so these are all the steps that we need to choose. So first step, you need to name your server and then choose your operating system. Later part, you need to choose your hardware type. So whereas the how much GB RAM that you want, so how many CPUs that you want, all those things. And the key pair, so since the key pair, I said, right, it is lock and key concept, whereas the lock will be kept in our server and key will be given to us. So now we have to create a key for that. So privacy, see the .pem file we'll create now to access our Windows server. So I'll just create Windows key. I'll name this as a Windows key. So the PEM file will be generated. PEM file means privacy encrypted mail file it is. So we can use this PEM file to like generate a password for our Windows server. Just create it. So I'll just store it in, or I'll store. So for YouTube, just I'm storing there. Now I'll launch the instance. So generally when we are launching Windows instance, it will take approximately 3 to 4 minutes to instance to get ready. So while server is in progress of creation. So if you see this is in pending state, but see the IP address is already created for this. And if you just click on one more, so now if you see the server state is changed to running and status is initializing. So during the initialization, what will happen means it will be like installing the operating system and choosing the hardware. So all those things will be having, and also the remaining things, configuring storage, configuring the network related concepts, and also the key pair attachment. So all those things will be happening in the background. So once this is successfully completed, the status check is successfully completed, we'll be getting the status check as 2x2 checks passed here. So what does it mean that 2x2 checks passed means? So it is 1x2 installation plus 1x2 configuration, whereas installation is part of identifying the hardware and installation of the operating system into the virtual machine, and the configuration is nothing but choosing the storage and networking related things and key pair attachment. So all those things will be coming under the configuration related part. Okay, so this takes approximately 2 to 3 minutes. So I'll just pause my video and we'll come back once the server is ready. Okay guys, so now as soon as I just refresh my screen, I can see. So once I refresh my screen, I can see the 2x2 checks passed. So 2x2 checks passed means it is 1x2 installation and 1x2 configuration. So once, so this means your server is successfully created without any issues. Now, how do we log into the this particular server? We have successfully created the server, and now we would want to log into this server to make use of this server. Okay, so for that we would require the public IP of the server. So here is a public IP. In the details, if you go in the bottom, you will find the public IP, and just copy the public IP into your notepad. And so just the server is already selected. Go to the click option in the dashboard and RDP client. Here, if you see, you can get the password. So username by default for Windows servers, the username is administrator. So username is administrator. Copy that as well and get the password. So just click on get the password and upload the private key, which means, see, this is a private key that we downloaded or we created. So the key pair we created, right? Windows key. Okay, we have to provide that key to like generate the password for us. So where we given, so we stored here, right? So windows key.fm file we are giving here. So now if you just click on decrypt, the password will be generated here. Just copy the password. And so now we have the public IP we have. So this is a public IP, and we have the username, uname we have, and the password. We have a password also. So now how do we log into the Windows server means? So there is a protocol already we discussed, right? RDP protocol. So by default in every Windows operating system, RDP will, if you just type on RDP, so remote desktop connection application will be listed here. Just open that and provide this IP address. Provide this IP address. So once you are providing the IP address, it will ask for the username. So the username would be administrator and password. Copy all the things and paste it. Now, if you see, it is asking for some pop-up. Just grant test. Okay. Now, if you see, you are successfully logged into your Windows machine. So since this is the first time that you are logging into the Windows machine, so there will be some kind of setups or personalized settings will be like happening. So it will delay the login. For the first time only all these things will happen. Okay, now we can see our screen, the Windows server screen. This is not my laptop screen. This is a Windows server which we created in AWS account. So this is the EC2 machine. You see EC2 Microsoft Windows guide something. And here this is the remote desktop connection. That is why it is showing its public IP here. And right side top corner, we'll also be seeing what is this instance type, what is a like a public IP, private IP, so on what operating system this. So all those things will be listed here. You can see here. So the host name means this server's host name will be given here, and instance ID. So these are all the things that you can also see in AWS dashboard. The private IP, public IP, the instance size, the hardware size of this particular, and the availability zone means in the data center in the, so where we have created this one. So we have created in Virginia. So in that Virginia again, there will be multiple zones will be there. In one data center, there will be multiple zones will be there. In that, this is in B zone. Okay, the architecture of this particular operating system, you see, this is AMD 64, and RAM is 1024, which means 1 GB of the RAM. So 1 GB of the RAM is available. So this is like options we have chosen when we are creating the EC2 instance. And if you just log into this particular machine, and you can also see, so what is a storage is available. So 30 GB of storage is available. By default, how much GB? We selected 30 GB. The same 30 GB is reflecting here. Out of 30 GB, almost close to now 16 GB is free. So that's it about the creation of our AWS EC2 instance. So once you are successfully done with your practicals, don't forget to terminate your server. Else your free hours will be lapsed, or else you will be billed against your usage. Go to here, just terminate your server. So that's it, guys. For more interesting videos like this, if you want to see, just subscribe to my channel.